What is up, Pokemon Go family? It is your boy, TheGoulGuy, back at you guys yet again with another video, and today we are going to be showcasing another team for the Spring Cup featuring a very rare Pokemon. Won't be rare soon because Go Fest is around the corner, but it is Gogoat. Yes, we are showcasing a team with freaking Gogoat today, which is freaking awesome. This Pokemon has actually some really decent movesets. Like, I'm not going to lie, the moveset for Gogoat is actually really clean. I love it. But this team was suggested to me from a subscriber in our comments. His name is Bishdom. Bishdom, I'm gonna put your name right down below just in case I actually got that name wrong. But Bishdom is the guy that got us together for this video. I was looking for a team that worked well with Gogoat, and this team that he suggested, I even put it in PvPoke just to double check, actually works phenomenally. Yeah, let me showcase the team for you guys. This team consists of Gogoat, we got Tentacruel, and as well we also have Mantine in the back. I never thought to actually use Mantine in this meta, but I should have recognized it because there are a lot of grass types in this league that essentially Mantine is perfect for. And as well, you know, of course with Tentacruel, it's really good also against the grass types as well, and also good like water coverage, even though we aren't really going to be using Scald here. We're going to be using Sledge Wave, but essentially really good against the grass types and really good against those fire users like Mawile, essentially because it is still part fairy, even though it is steel. Anyway, but that is the team, essentially just to cover Gogoat's weaknesses, which is pretty much just fire. Yeah, that's like the main weaknesses for Gogoat. Well, fire and as well as ice. So, you know, essentially, you know, Tentacruel and as well as Mantine does do a pretty good job at that. Yeah, let's go ahead and showcase the IVs of everything that we are using here. And let's get started. Alright, so first and foremost, let's go ahead and start with the Gogoat. Now this is a Gogoat from the special research. I talked about this in my last video. Essentially, if you buy the ticket before the 15th, so literally before tomorrow, about time this video comes out, it should be tomorrow. If you get it literally today, I don't know if it'll work tomorrow, but essentially you should be able to get a research that essentially will be able to give you a Gogoat, well, a Skidoo, and you'll be able to evolve it into a Gogoat, and yeah, you'll be able to get it that way. But, you know, of course, Go Fest is around the corner, like in a couple months, so essentially you will be able to get it that way, I believe through Incense, if you are, you know, doing the global and everything like that. But, you know, completely up to you if you want to go that route. But anyway, this is our Gogoat here. I did not trade or anything to get better IVs at all, so this is the kind of the one I got. It was a 3-star, which is nice. That is also pretty awesome. But basically it has Vine Whip, Brick Break, and as well as Leaf Blade. And then next we're going to have Tentacruel. This is a Tentacruel I showcased in my last video with Klefki. Essentially, we got Poison Jab, Sludge Wave, and as well as Acid Spray. And then last but not least, of course, we also have our Mantine. This is one of my favorite Mantines that I've gotten because it is, once I find it here, where's my Mantine? There it is, 1491. It's our Great League Mantine. It's a XXL Mantine as well. Love that it's just huge and as well as really good PvP IVs with Wing Attack, Aerial Ace, and as well as Ice Beam. But that is the team. That is what we're going to be working with. Let's get into the battles. Let's go. Let's go. You got to put on that do not disturb. Okay, here we go. Alright, so getting into the first battle of this set. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's go. Now let's show you guys what exactly Gogoat is capable of. All right, we got Gogoat versus, I forgot what the heck you call this Pokemon, Barnacle. Yeah, Barnacle, I was right. Anyway, Barnacle switching out into the Mawile, the Fire Fang users. This is where Tentacruel comes into play. Essentially, I'm going to be able to either Acid Spray or if not Sludge Wave it down. I'm most likely going to Sludge Wave it down here. Let's see what they pull off. They throw a play rough. Since I am part poison, of course that's not going to do that much damage to me. We're just going to throw a dang, what am I? Acid spray. We're just gonna throw an acid. Oh, never mind. We throw the sludge wave. I don't know why. I thought I was pressing the acid spray for a second. But yeah, we throw the sludge wave. Of course, sludge wave doing a good amount of damage. Basically ends up KOing the Mawile. We end up like farming down the Mawile, which is nice. They switch back into the Barnacle. Basically what we're gonna do, we're just gonna throw an acid spray, lower their defenses, because basically I'm just gonna throw the Gogoat back out there, and if they switch out of this match, we're just going to switch out into the Mantine. I'm going to shield this because I believe it's going to be a rock move. I don't know what exactly rock move it might be. Oh, never mind. It's cross chop. I do not know the moveset of freaking Barnacle whatsoever. They end up switching into a Swabloon. That is so strange. I did not know Swabloon was a good Pokemon in this meta. Not sure. For anybody out there using Swabloon, Silver Wind. See, I've never seen Silver Wind in Pokemon Go, okay? I know it's a move, but I've never seen it used in the PvP matches. That's kind of insane. But anyway, they end up switching back into the Barnacle. What I try to do is just get to this Ice Beam before they get to a move, and we do get to the Ice Beam. Ice Beam should be able to do a decent amount of damage, or at least get a shield. Let's see what they end up doing. They end up shielding. There it is. And then now what I'm going to try to do is get to another Ice Beam before they get to the charge move. But unfortunately, they are going to get to another charge move. They probably doubled up on charge moves here. They do have a rock move, and it's Stone Edge. So I freaking blocked a Stone Edge. That is insane. We ended up basically shooting a cross chop, which is very unfortunate. But anyway, we are going to be able to get to another Leaf Blade really fast. Look at that. Look how fast I was able to get to another Leaf Blade. This is why Gogoat's so freaking good. As I said, at first when I started using this Pokemon, boom, end up KOing the Barnacle, and yeah, we go on to the next match. But yeah, when I first started using Gogoat, I was thinking to myself like, oh my god, this Pokemon is not the best. Like, I don't know what to say, but I will say with the Vine Whip, you get to those charge moves so freaking fast. Oh my goodness. And just be like, Leaf Blade is just such a good move, and Brick Break able to like lower the opponent's defenses and being super effective against steel types is just a clutch move, especially in this league, in this meta anyway, in this cup, in the Spring Cup anyway. But going into the next match, here we go. We got Empoleon versus our Gogoat here. Of course, Gogoat's gonna have an advantage here, but you know, Empoleon does have Brick Break, Drill Peck anyway. They end up switching into the is it Formantis? Am I saying it right, or is that something else? I forgot. Levani. They switch it to the Levani. Basically, what we're gonna do, we could have went into the Mantine, or we could have went into our Tentacruel. Did not matter whatsoever. But they are going to get to another Leaf Blade, which is not good. No bueno whatsoever. So we're just going to use a shield here, because most likely it would have KO'd us at this point. So basically, we're just going to use the Acid Spray. Let's see if they end up shielding this or not. But Acid Spray, what it should do, gives us... Yeah, okay. So they don't shield it, and this is instant farm for sure. So they're saving their shields for sure. We only have one more shield left. They have two. I know poison moves are not going to do that much damage to Empoleon. So basically what we're going to do is just settle for an Acid Spray here. Settle for an Acid Spray and just see how much health we can go down on, because I don't believe we're going to be able to get to another charge move. Yeah, we don't end up getting to another one. That's fine. So they're going to end up KOing us, probably using Drill Peck. There it is. And then basically what we're going to do, switch back into the Gogoat. They end up switching into a Golisopod, and I'm glad we did not keep the... Well, technically Tentacruel would have been good in this match too, so it really did not matter which one we actually ended up switching in with. Aqua Jet coming through, not doing that much damage whatsoever. Aerial Ace coming through, going to do a good amount of damage to this Golisopod, as it is part bug. It's going to do a lot of damage to it. Let's see if they end up shielding. They do. They do end up shielding, and I believe that is going to be their last shield. I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken anyway. We're not going to shield this. Let's see what it ends up being. It might just be another Aqua Jet. And it is. It's another Aqua Jet. There we go. That's fine with me. We're going to get off another Aerial Ace. Sorry about that. My my camera just went off on me. But anyway, they did end up shielding the second aerial ace here, and we end up switching into our Gogoat as they switch back into their Empoleon. We are going to be able to get the Leaf Blade. That is going to be an instant KO if I'm not mistaken. Oh, never mind. I am mistaken. They hold on by a freaking thread, but we still have one more shield left. They do not have any more shields left. So we're going to take that Drill Peck, no problem. Basically farm down the rest of this Empoleon here, and we should be able to get to the Leaf Blade, which is going to... Ooh, never mind. We almost got to the Leaf... Okay, so they got to their charge move. This is most likely going to be an X-Scissor. X-Scissor is going to do a decent amount of damage. Oh, almost all of my freaking health. That is insane. But we ended up still surviving. Gogoat, being the GOAT it freaking is, survives with one smidgen of HP, end up Leaf Blading the Golisopod, taking out the last two Pokemon. Let's go. Let's go. But yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, my camera, I think, just has a certain time that it just cuts off on me. But as you can see, all these Pokemon teams that I've been working with too, which is kind of insane. I just have a bunch of different like teams set up just in case, like, because I do get bored of using the same team over and over again. Even though it's probably the best for me because, you know, as I said, you once you get used to a team, you just start to get better and better and better. So definitely recommend, if you do have a set team that you use in this meta, definitely use it. But anyway, we got Gogoat versus Seaking. Now Seaking has Poison Jab, so this is going to be very difficult for us here, but we are going to be able to get to the Leaf Blade, as I said, really quick, which is very nice. Leaf Blade going to do some deadly damage if they let it go, and they do! One hit KO on the freaking Seaking. I have no clue why they did not shield whatsoever. They bring in the Mawile. We're just going to switch out into the Tentacruel. What do they bring back in? They bring in a Ferrothorn. Now this is going to be a hard counter for the Tentacruel here. So let's see what ends up happening here. Let's see if they have Thunder or Power Whip. It is Power Whip. Okay, so we are going to be able to at least survive the Power Whip. That is fine. Basically, we're just going to hit them with the harder hitting move, which is the Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave doing a decent amount of damage, almost a half. Basically, just going to farm the rest of the way here. And yeah, they're going to get to another charge move here. No point of shielding this. Might as well just let the Ferrothorn just take me out the rest of the way. We're just basically just going to come back in with the Gogoat. Gogoat's probably going to be the best for this situation here. We're just going to use Brick Break. Brick Break should do a decent... Well, I mean, of course, Brick Break is not the most strongest move, but at least we're going to get a defense drop, and they end up switching back out into a Mawile. Back into their Mawile, and we have our Mantine versus the Mawile now. Now in this scenario, in this situation, yeah, they have Power Punch, but I'm not sure what exactly their secondary move is. If they do have Play Rough does do a decent amount of damage, especially after being buffed with Power Punch. I remember using Jellicent, and literally somebody like literally one hit KO'd me with the freaking Power Punch and the Play Rough. That stuff was insane. I almost cussed. But anyway, that almost messed me up. And there it is, the Play Rough, the Power Punch Play Rough. That is one thing you do have to worry about going against Mawile. Even if you think you have an advantage, Mawile has a way of sneaking up on you and taking you out. We hit Mawile with the Aerial Ace, almost taking it out completely. They end up switching out last minute. It literally has a smidgen of health. We're just not going to shield here. Might as well just take the Mantine. Basically, let the Mantine take majority of the hits there. And we're just going to throw the Brick Break on to the Ferrothorn here. I don't know if they still have another shield or not. I don't think they do. Okay, so they do. They still do have one more shield. And we still have one more shield. So what I'm thinking here, might as well just use a shield here. I don't know what exactly secondary. Okay, they have Mirror Shot. Oh my god. I thought it was going to be... I thought it was the stronger one, Flash Cannon. I thought it was Flash Cannon, but it ended up being Mirror Shot. Mirror Shot actually doesn't do that much damage, so I'm not actually scared of this Mirror Shot whatsoever. Look at that. It took half of the little smidgen of the HP I had. They tried to catch onto Mawile. That did not work out for them. We end up farming down the rest of the Mawile, which only had a smidgen of health. We do get to the Brick Break, and this Brick Break should KO the Ferrothorn, and we end up winning that game. Man, every time we go against a Ferrothorn, I feel like the matches just last way longer than it should. The Ferrothorn just has so much health on it. Like, there's so much, like, as you can see, there's so many different maneuvers I had to do to actually get the Ferrothorn down. Like, it started with the Tentacruel, and then it ended up with the Gogoat, and then back to the Mantine, and then back to the Gogoat. Like, oh my god. That Ferrothorn, like, held on crazily. Like, that was the one thing that held on by... like, it has so much health, it's insane. But anyway, we got Gogoat versus Tentacruel. Obviously, not the best situation. I don't know what just happened there. We kind of lagged a little bit, but we both ended up switching out. We got Mantine versus Amoonguss. Of course, I'm going to have somewhat of an advantage here. Of course, the Amoonguss is going to have Astonish. Astonish is going to do a good amount of neutral damage, which I do have to look out for. Foul Play also is going to do some good neutral damage. But anyway, Aero Ace is super effective, so they will have to shield or take a lot of damage here, and they don't end up shielding. Amoonguss is still pretty bulky, so I do have to worry about that. The Amoonguss is still pretty bulky, so I try to make a call here. I probably shouldn't shield here because the thing is, Foul Play, I think I survived that, and I do end up surviving that, and we do end up getting into the Aerial Ace. Let's see if they end up shielding or not. They might try to take switch advantage. Let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, they do end up shielding, and they're basically just going to try to take switch advantage at this point now. Pretty much, I think we're going to just bring it back and Gogoat, build up some energy. Yeah, that's what we end up doing. But they end up having a charge move left over. I was thinking in my head, do I want to shield? And I do end up shielding because I thought it was going to have Sludge. I forgot what it has. Sludge Bomb? Yeah, I thought it had Sludge Bomb. So I wanted to be super cautious. They bring back into Tentacruel. What we're going to do, we're just going to hit it with a Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade does a decent amount of damage. At least I will have an advantage with my Tentacruel coming in. Because I at least will have a health advantage. They end up bringing out a Shadow Shiny Cacturn. Bro, this thing looks sick. Oh my god. Shadow Shiny. Oh my goodness. I wish I freaking had a Shadow Shiny. Look at that thing. Oh my god. But anyway, we hit it with the Acid Spray, KOing it with the Acid Spray, which is insane. And then pretty much they bring back in their Tentacruel. I believe we both still have one shield left, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, they're going to throw a Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave does a decent amount of damage to us. But what we're going to do is just use Acid Spray. We still have the Gogoat in the back. So basically, even if the Tentacruel goes down here, we still have our Gogoat in the back. That is basically what we're going to be leaning on here. Let's see, can we get to another Acid Spray? And we can get to another Acid Spray, and I believe this might end up getting their last shield, if I'm not mistaken. I think, and it does get their last shield and their double debuff, which is very nice. We still have one more shield left, so if they want to throw the Sludge Wave, they can, but I don't think it's going to KO us. They use Acid Spray. Acid Spray is still going to do a decent amount of damage to us, like, you know, obviously with their quick move, Poison Jab, but they are double debuffed, and those Vine Whips are freaking destroying the Tentacruel. We end up farming it down and winning that game. Let's go, let's go. Going into the next match. Going into the next match. I appreciate everybody rocking with me. I believe I had this channel for like about, yeah, I would say it's been almost about a year now. I would say a year, maybe a year and a half or so. We made it to 700 subs. Appreciate y'all out there. Yeah, I'm trying to make it up to 1,000, man. Trying to get there. But anyway, we got Gogoat versus Jellicent. Good lead for us here. Very good lead for us. They end up switching into a freaking Rapidash, which is insane. Basically, we're just going to throw a Leaf Blade here, do a decent amount of damage, or at least get a shield. Let's see what happens. We do get the shield, which is very nice, because the thing is, this Rapidash, oh my goodness. I've been noticing a lot of people using Rapidash lately. The freaking wild charges on Rapidash. Like, they can get there so freaking fast too. It's insane. But anyway, they end up throwing a wild charge. Basically, we're going to try to farm the rest of the way down. Yes, we end up farming the rest of the way down before they get to another wild charge. That was my only concern going into that. They bring in the Jellicent. Now, this is what I would do if you have a Tentacruel versus a Jellicent, right? Basically, throw a acid spray first to lower their defense. And then essentially, whether you have Sludge Wave or whether you have Scold, throw it next, because essentially that's going to do a good amount of damage. You most likely are not going to win the matchup between the two, between Tentacruel and as well as Jellicent. But the thing is, Jellicent typically knows, the person that has Jellicent typically knows that they can take whatever hit that the Tentacruel throws at them. But you still will be able to take a good amount of chunk of damage off onto the Jellicent, which is very nice. So yeah, basically we're just going to let this Shadow Ball go through. They could have probably just used the Surf. I don't know why they used that. But anyway, we still got 2 healthy Pokemon in the back, and they bring in a freaking Ferrothorn. Now, with this match, I literally prematurely switch. I definitely should not have switched as fast as I did there. They have Power Whip, which is fine. Like, it's way better than them having Thunder. If they had Thunder, we would definitely be KO'd by now. We're at least going to be able to do a good chunk of health throwing a Ice Beam here. Ice Beam is still going to do a decent amount of damage. At least getting them to half, a little less than half, which is nice. I tried to get to another aerial ace. Of course, I wasn't going to outpace to the next charge move. That's fine though, because we still have the Gogoat in the back. Now, the only thing I can hope is, will this Gogoat be able to take out the Ferrothorn as well as the next Pokemon that he has? That is the only question that I have right now. Basically, we're going to throw the Brick Break. Brick Break should be able to at least get them to the red. And I believe we should be able to farm the rest of the way down. Oh, never mind. They end up using a shield. I believe that's going to be their last shield. Let's see. I'm going to shield this because this is our last Pokemon. And I don't want to get hit with the Flash Cannon. Which it was. Flash Cannon. Of course it was. Oh, I forgot. It was just a Jellicent. They just had the Jellicent. Oh, I forgot. So Jellicent didn't have that much health left. We still have the Brick Break loaded from that from that farm down of the Jellicent, which is nice. Brick Break is coming through. And yeah, basically end up KOing the Ferrothorn. Gogoat for the win. Let's go, man. Love Gogoat so much. Let's get it. And that was the end of the match. That was a 5-0 match. But anyway, that is Gogoat in Pokemon Go. That is Gogoat in the Spring Cup. Such a fun Pokemon to use. I know it's not like the best grass type in the world or anything like that, but it is a very fun Pokemon. It's a very unique Pokemon too, especially with its moveset of Brick Break, which is insane. Leaf Blade is such a good grass type move as well, but highly recommend it. Definitely want to use it around a team that essentially is good against its counters. Of course, that's why I use Tentacruel, and that is also why I use Mantine. Shout out to my subscriber out there that suggested the team. I literally forgot your name again already, but anyway, I'm going to put it down below here. But yeah, shout out to you. I appreciate you. You are the Gogoat. And but yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely leave me a like and subscribe to the channel, as it helps the channel out. That is it. Comment down below what you guys thought of the squad, of the team, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace out.